Amy Thurman back again with 100 Days, 100 Emotions. We're on day 23 today, and it's about curiosity. If you are just joining us for the first time and would like to catch the rest of these, you can check out the hashtag 100 Days, 100 Emotions. That's the number 100, 100 Days, 100 Emotions, or hashtag Polish the Mirror. And you can find all of them there. I have gotten some really good feedback. I hear that they're helpful. And so I'm so glad that you guys are joining me. And um, the guests that I have are so good. I'm learning so much from them and eager to learn more from each of these sessions. And so I'm so excited to bring on my guest tonight. This is Roger. Hey, Roger, welcome.
Hello, Amy. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks so much for being here. Roger and I are on the same platform online, but we have never actually talked. So this will be our first time to actually see each other's faces and chat a little bit. So it's so fun. Like I love doing this. I was telling him earlier, like talking to people in the UK or in Australia who are like on the other side, their time zone is completely different. Just blows my mind. And so I love being able to do this. And I'm so thankful that you chose to spend this time with us today, Roger.
Yeah, well, I'm not quite as far away as the rest of them. I'm just up in Alaska, so
Yeah.
when rainy today, no snow on the ground though, so life's good.
Yeah. Oh man, that my daughter worked in Denali for a while, and whole different world over there. Like whole different world.
Yeah.
Just oh, so fun. Okay, so today we're talking about curiosity, the emotion curiosity, and the text that I want to share with you today. I ran out of room, so I had to kind of make do. But curiosity is the innate human drive to know and understand more about the world around us. And it often involves asking questions, investigating, and being open to the unknown and stepping out of our comfort zone. And so, when I say the word curiosity, I think of a kid, like because I was a kid asking questions, lots and lots of questions, driving people insane with all of my questions. But as adults, we are curious too. It just I think it changes a little bit. The topic, the subject of what we're curious about. And so I'm curious. I'm curious. I'm eager to know what you have to share with us, Roger, today about your experience with curiosity.
So, I have a ton of curiosities, right? One of the wonderful things about what I do is I get to explore those on a regular basis. As a person who does a lot of stuff with TTRPGs or tabletop role playing games like Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, Starfinder, all that kind of fun stuff, we have a lot of curiosities that we just get to dive into. Whether that's a personal expressions, how you would handle situations, how situations would turn out, who murdered when and where, whatever game or thing that you're doing, right? You get to explore all those curiosities and you're rewarded for it. And for me personally, even stuff like starting a business started on a curiosity. All right, it started on be trying to learn more stuff about taxes and how to do things better and that kind of stuff, and that led to there's a lot of cool stuff that you get as a business owner, so on and so forth with tax stuff. And so I was curious and found that out and decided, I really want to do stuff with this. Let's see what would happen. What's the worst thing that could happen? We're experiencing it now. Same thing with starting the podcast and all the other fun things that we do on our side of things. It's all built off curiosity and wanting to learn more and do more and expand ourselves. As a company, as a person, as myself, everything I do at this point. I'm a father of two, and so I get to watch curiosity develop in my little ones, and it's wonderful to watch. You talked about being a kid, the wonderment of just watching my 3-year-old like drop a pan from the table to see what it does. Great, loud and annoying, but great. And that's the thing for the people that are no longer curious. Is the stuff that people can be curious about can be frustrating because they haven't experienced those things behind stuff. So curiosity in itself jumps to so many other places and feelings for not just you but the people around you as well.
Oh, that's so good. So true. Like I want to just spin off on several of those little threads there. But it makes me think, like, what you said, that some people don't look at it as something positive, as a good thing. Like adults who are curious tend to be at some point looked at as maybe carefree or irresponsible or, something like that because they're out there. curious about what will happen if we do this, kind of like a child does. And so sometimes that's looked upon as not a positive thing. Have you ever had that experience?
So I would say most definitely,
Yeah.
because curiosities waste time, right? Especially if there's an established way of doing things that works really well already. If you're curious and want to test other ways of doing stuff, you're going to slow someone else down, right? In the
Mm.
workplace with dealing with other people, curiosities can lead to quotas not being met, to people being upset because you're stepping all over their toes. They can lead to you looking for information that you're not supposed to be privy to. You know, what I mean, all that is all under the curiosity rainbow, right? And it all leads to something. You know, they talked about the cat, right? The curiosity killed the cat is half the saying. But that's true. You mean there's a lot of trouble that can be caused for people that are curious about things, and not necessarily that it's bad. You ask questions. When you start asking questions, that can lead to trouble. You know, pretty much
Oh,
any age. Adults, especially though, because curious adults have the ability and the capability to figure things out. You know what I mean? They're able to dig and get past things. Whereas as a kid, sometimes you hit a wall of the adults say no, or physically I can't do something, so I can't figure it out, so I have to give up on that until grow up or someone tells me, or that kind of stuff. Whereas an adult, you don't have that restriction 99% of the time. Uh,
yeah. Oh, it's so interesting because I'm thinking of like myself as a kid. I asked a lot of questions, and we practiced an organized religion, and so I asked a lot of questions, and that was not looked upon very well. Like, I'm just in my instance, in that kind of situation, they don't want people asking a lot of questions. And I was met with the response of, because I said so, a lot of times. And so that really squelched my curiosity as a kid. And so that affected how I went into adulthood, my curiosity as an adult. And I've had to relearn how to get that back. But
right,
it can be like we're supposed to be curious. It's in there for a reason. Even as adults, it's not something we're just supposed to do as kids. We're
right.
supposed to do it as adults too. But like I said, it gets squelched so often that I feel like we have to relearn how to do that.
And speaking as a parent of younger kids, there obviously is a reason for the don't ask me more, because sometimes people are just tired and don't have the time. You know what I mean? For
Yes,
organized religions, there's plenty of things that are just very complicated to understand that leads to hours and hours and years of discussion that can't be answered with a simple yes or no or whatnot.
true.
And sometimes you just don't have the effort for it. And like, that's not a great answer, right? The better thing is I can tell you later, give me some time, and we'll discuss it when we have free time, that kind of stuff. Generally, though, kids don't take that answer very well because they want to know immediately because, children have zero patience 99% of the time for stuff because they want
Right.
to feel that curiosity, right? Going back to what we were talking about. So, and the other thing is, not everyone has all the answers all the time. You know what I mean? So it can be frustrating to realize that you don't know why something happens, right? And when someone who is curious points that out to you, you feel lesser. And people don't take that well. You know what I mean? You challenge something that they just think is the way things are, and there's a reason not, that's just what we do, you're going to get a lot of bunk back. You know what I mean? We go back to why curiosity might be viewed as a negative thing. It's because you run into that a lot. There's a lot of quote unquote old hats that have been doing things the way they do things for forever. And they might be the best way of doing things, but no one knows why, right? We jump
Yeah.
onto the technological stuff. You talked about Midjourney or before the show started. Geez, sorry, tongue twister apparently.
It's okay.
The new age of figuring out this AI art stuff and using it in a positive manner without replacing artists or diminishing the hard work that real artists put into their drawings and things is difficult for a lot of people. You know what I mean? People hear the words Midjourney or AI creation and they poo-poo it. It's terrible. It's destroying people's lives and things like that. But like people for me that have zero artistic talent generally, at least with a pen, like it saves me time and effort and like lets me put ideas on the in front of myself to like see things, right? So it satiates my curiosity of what something I want to see in my head would look like on paper in a specific style or whatnot, and stuff like that. So like to cut down on the tangent here, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Pushing forward with those things will just bump heads with people eventually, even if they are in a super positive reason for doing so. Like any reasons to learn and get better is obviously good, but you're gonna run into hard times.
Right. And I think it's exactly what you said. Like when we question something, even if we're not questioning the person, we're questioning, we don't understand the concept, then the person sometimes will take it personally, like you're questioning me, and then feel inadequate, and then come back with a because I said so, or that's just the way it is kind of thing. So it's so interesting. I never really thought about it like that, but that's so true that the person receiving it could be receiving it in a totally different manner than the way the person is asking it. And so it causes that disconnect there. Oh, that's so good. And then like you said about the AI stuff with Midjourney, I'm pretty left-brained. Like I struggle with creativity when it comes to like that, putting it on paper, that kind of thing. And so just being able to have a resource like that to help jumpstart my brain is such an asset to me. Like I find it so interesting and I use it in such a way, like that. And I'm not about trying to put people out of jobs or anything like that. I just find it really helpful to get my brain on started on the right track. Which is I think what you were talking about. The question that I have for us today, because I want you all to join in the conversation here. I want you to hop on here and let us know what you think. We kind of talked about this a little bit, but do we become more or less curious as we age? And it's interesting because when you say curiosity, I think most people think of kids, but like we said earlier, that I was thinking about this as I was writing it. The question that as kids, it's like we don't know, we haven't been exposed to enough to know, so we're curious what the answers are. But then as we get older, we have, excuse me, learned more, and then we're questioning now. Well, why is it done this way? Why isn't there a better way? That kind of thing. So I don't know. What do you think, Roger?
So I'd have to say it really, really depends on the person who is asking the question, right? Because we all have a
Yeah.
tolerance level for what we want to learn and what we want to do, and some people just never lose their spark, right? No, someone don't get complacent in what they're doing or how they're acting with things, and they just say, "I need to know more." Right? There's that desire to be better or to find things or to figure stuff out that makes sense, so on and so forth, that just sticks with them for forever, right? There's no real break to it. And then there's other times where like you kind of mellow out for a while and then something just piques your curiosity. Great personal example. I talked about this in another podcast relatively recently. In D&D, right? You'll make survival checks for doing stuff. And one of the things that came up one of those times on the checks was knots. We were trying knots on something to keep a boat in place or something silly. And like in real life, I know how to do a couple knots. I was in the army. I got enough to get me by, but like I honestly don't know the difference or why knots are better than other knots, or at least I should say I didn't. Curiosity got the better of me, and I spent a couple days figuring out best knots for various things and the reasons why. And so on and so forth. So, I mean, there's those kind of examples, and sometimes they just flare up. You know what I mean? You don't constantly have to be curious. Sometimes you can be content with life, and things will just pop in where you're just like, I need an answer to this immediately.
Oh, that's so good. So good. And I think it's so true that, curiosity kind of runs through our lives. We don't recognize it a lot of times, but it's there in such subtle ways. But we don't have to always be curious. We can be content. I love that so much. We can be content with the way things are and not have to always be searching for something to be curious about. That's so good. Oh, dropping those wisdom bombs today, Roger.
Trying, gosh dang it.
Yeah. Okay, so excuse me, if you've watched this before, you know what's coming. If you haven't seen one of these before, I use, Roger referred to it as Midjourney. It's an AI image generator, and I ask it to create an image that represents the emotion of the day. And so this one is the emotion curiosity, and this is what it came up with. I'm going to pop it on here, and then I will full screen it so that we can see it a little bit better. And it's always interesting to me what it gives, like what it comes up with, because It's like spot on, but it's so abstract at the same time, and you kinda have to search some of them you kinda have to search for, why did it pull up this image for curiosity? Um, but, they're just most of them have, like, the sun and as the focal point there, but this one is really interesting. It has that blue bulb, whatever, moon maybe, in front of it there, and all of this drippingness, it makes me curious looking at it, like, I want to know where this water is flowing, like, what is this path? Where does it lead to? What is happening here, you know? Is there anything that jumps out at you about this, Roger?
Well, it looks like the trees are actually some kind of fungi.
Yeah.
And the pattern in the water tells me it's not water, it's some kind of rock formation or whatnot. It
Oh,
could be like a cobalt mixed with something else, especially when it runs into that red thing. It could also be in a place that's so hot that everything's liquid, besides whatever these trees are made of. And that blue thing could be a whole other planet that's in the way. You know what I mean, if we were sitting on the moon or something like that, looking at another planet and its colors and whatnot, that could be a small gas giant. You never know. Same thing
yeah.
with all the little flecks in the sky. It would totally make sense for them to be like gaseous forms that have been evaporated from whatever this material is, from the heat and whatnot. Because honestly, that's a big sun real close. It might be a little hot wherever they're standing. That might be something like the distance from Mercury to the moon or something silly. Mercury to the moon, Mercury to the sun. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so much. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, see, my brain doesn't know any of that. Like, I'm just mind blown. When you're talking, I was like, whoa, whoa, it's so true. Yes, yes. I didn't think of that at all. I didn't see that at all. But when brains like yours come on here and bring things like that to the surface, I'm like, I see it now. Like, I can see it. Oh, that's so good. And isn't it wild how this mid journey, the AI generator, image generator can do that? Like, I don't know. It blows my mind, and I'm just really thankful for it because it gives us a different perspective onto these emotions that we're talking about. So, before we hop off here, I would like for you to take just a minute, Roger, to share with the viewers what it is you do and how they
Sure.
can contact you if they would like to work with you.
So I am the owner or grandmaster of Epic Sages. We're a TTRPG hosting site, and like I said before, Epic Sages is a tabletop role-playing game. So we help people learn how to play Pathfinder, Starfinder, all this other fun stuff, and all the nerd-adjacent items to go with it is stuff we do and sell. But we're all about teaching people how to play and spice up their lives with a little bit of curiosity. Ever want to learn what it's like to be an elf or a dwarf or a dragonborn or something silly like that? We're here to help. We do stuff. D&D is one of our big ones, but we teach just about any TTRPG people want to learn how to do and play. We also certify people as GMs or game masters that teach other people how to play and run stuff. But yeah, that's what the business is. You can find us on basically any social media, but WW Epic Sages will get you to the website. You can contact me directly. Company phone is 530-515-3575 for the phone number, and that'll get a hold of me. Text, call, include your name, all that fun stuff. Trying to think of anything else that would be good. We have our own podcast. If
I
you're
was
a
going to ask
podcast
about
fan,
that. Yeah.
yep, Epic Sages TTRPG Classrooms. You can find it on Spotify and all that fun stuff. It's all over our social medias and on the website itself. It has its own little page on there. It's been running for 4 seasons now. Basically, every time the company has a name change or we change the time of the podcast, we start a new season. So,
That this emotion is perfect for you. Curiosity. It's a
curiosity,
perfect
yeah.
one. Yes. So on your podcast, do you just talk about the games? Is that mainly what
So
it's about?
no, actually, it's a lot of entrepreneurial silliness.
Oh,
So we talk about business stuff because a lot of our guests are business friends that we met when we made it on our TV show in our first year of business. We made it on a thing called The Blocks. And we met a whole bunch of wonderful people, and we continue to interact in that community. And they jump on the show and talk about their expertises and things like that. And we apply it to game stuff. And sometimes it's just talking about the technologies or talking about like how things apply. And sometimes it's just lots of fun. You know what I mean? It's designed after a morning talk show. You know what I mean? So it's really just meant to be kind of free flowy, round table, yada yada kind of stuff. So it's not too serious. It's lots of fun. It's great to listen to the background when you need something to kind of just yammer on about silliness. And worst comes to worst, you'll learn something fun or have good ideas from us. So
How fun. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm going to have to check it out for sure. Well, thank you so much for being here. I am so grateful that you chose to spend your time on here sharing your experience with Curiosity with us and your business. That sounds like so much fun. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I appreciate you being here, Roger. And for all of you watching, thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us and for listening to us chatter on about Curiosity. If you have found this helpful or think it might be helpful for other people, please share it. If you would like to connect with Roger, go to his website, or I will tag him in the description so that you can contact him there too. All right, until tomorrow, I'll see you guys later. Bye.